Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. And today, we're giving our predictions for tomorrow's WWE Bash in Berlin Premium Live event. I don't know about you guys, but I am hyped up for it. We have Melissa in the chat. Shout out to Melissa. But also joining us today, we have the Tuesday Night Delight 3 days later. How are you on a Friday, Shad?
Oh, man. Yeah, I got to work overtime hours because I missed the Tuesday show. But I'm back, man. It was a fun episode of SmackDown. If you haven't watched it in the States, I obviously am a resident in the UK, so I watched it on time, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You definitely
Talk
haven't
bad.
seen it yet. But absolutely, we got Soul in the comments saying won't be on the daily on the 8th of August next year because he's off to see Oasis.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
Today's gonna be the day.
I've heard they're not going to play Wonderwall, so you might want to get a refund on them tickets.
No.
No, it's apparently what I've heard. No, I'm joking.
What?
No, it's
right.
it's whatever. It's whatever because of a court case that happened a few years back. But that's by the by. I was just trying.
I
to
hope
they
are because I'm going to see them on July whenever they're in Cardiff. But we've got Numero 1 Superfly in the chat saying happy prediction day, Wrestling Republic. Happy prediction day to you as well, Numero 1. Make sure to drop your predictions in the comments throughout. But also joining us today, you guys just heard from him. It is Jordy in the Bank. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. It's nice to be here. Shad, I missed you on Tuesday, mate. That's why I signed up for today as well, because it felt like if we don't argue on a show, then something it just didn't feel right. So I was like, right, I need to make sure, especially given the middle topic there, the Terror Twins versus the Judgment Day.
There's something we might need to just like take Ben out of the camera panel for that one, so we can just completely shout
just
and yell
a fight.
at each other.
Yeah, just a shout in that
dance.
You know what? We might even do that. But first of all, let's talk about Mr. Cody Rhodes, because he is facing Kevin Owens, right? And I'm not gonna lie, something happens on tonight's episode of SmackDown, which me, Jordy, have seen. Of course, Shad has not seen it, because he lives in America and it's only aired in the UK so far. But something happens on that show, which may or may not throw a little bit of a spanner in the works with this one. But even still, I'm going for the safe option. I'm predicting the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes will retain the championship. But Shad, do you agree with me?
Ooh, man, this is a difficult one off of the standpoint if I really, really would like to see Kevin Owens have a better probability chance. And like you said, if I were to watch SmackDown, which airs tonight, there may be a curveball, but I got Cody retaining. I don't think this is the first stop for him to lose his belt. I still think we got a little bit more left with him as the champion. But I will say this. I think Cody will retain, but I don't think this is going to be the last match between these guys. As we all know, Mr. Cody Rhodes loves, little trilogy type of feuds. Like he had the one with Seth, him and AJ was almost a trilogy. And I think this is the first step to us to get a new version of Kevin Owens. I think KO is a guy who's been old reliable these last few years. He's been a remarkable babyface. He's given us great moments, but it seems like he's felt a little stale in a sense, right? Not saying that no one likes KO. People obviously cheer for him. We're all big fans of him. But I feel like we need to get back to, his old stomping grounds and being the prize fighter. I think Cody does retain this Saturday, but I think we're going to get KO unleashing and beating Cody down and going back to his heel ways. And I think we might revisit this match again And at that point, who knows what's happening? Maybe KO builds steam and he maybe get the belt down the road. But off of what we're talking solely this Saturday, I got Cody retaining.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there, and so does Numero 1 Superfly, who says that Cody Rhodes will retain, and as for Kevin, he will not turn yet, but he will turn when Cody wants Kevin to help him, and Roman's deal with the bloodline in the future. Oh, okay, so that's... I mean, who knows? Maybe we could actually see Kevin Owens working alongside the new bloodline in War Games against Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and the Usos. That would be nuts. If your theory does happen, Numero 1. KFKSK saying, either way, no matter what turn happens, if there is a turn, he believes Cody will retain. And Soul, well, Soul doesn't even believe it's a question. He says, I mean, come on, Cody will win.
Okay, hold up. To say, come on, okay, maybe it's probability that he's going to retain, but I think that makes it seem like KO isn't a viable threat. I think this is probably the most, character-wise and building a storyline, the best opponent Cody has gone up against that you can build. They haven't built it amazing yet, but I think he has the element just because Kevin Owens is he's given us so many classmates and he plays off of the friendship storyline so well. He's so good at betraying his friends. They're good friends. I think I'm telling you, it's not over after tomorrow.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm inclined to agree. I still don't think either man is going to turn heel out of these two. I think it's going to be Orton who turns heel. And I think this entire thing with Kevin is to just tease it to make it seem like Kevin will, and then it'll be Orton or something like that. We do have a comment over on Instagram. Lord Virus of Nurgle is saying that it would be great for Kevin Owens to beat Cody. I absolutely do agree. And yeah, Jordy, what about you? Do you think we're going to see Cody retain, or will that knee end up costing him? What do you think?
I think he'll retain. I would love to say KO is going to do it, and I agree. But one thing that I'll throw into the mix, just because it's something a little bit different and hasn't been brought up, is the possibility of Randy and KO heel turning together. I don't know. They've both got a match to pick up the big two prizes. If they both lose, it could be a kind of misery loves company situation, and they just decide that together they can go on this wrecking streak. But obviously they can't both. They're both technically SmackDown superstars right now, right? So they can't technically both go after Cody because only one of them gets the belt, and so I don't really know how that ends up. If they go after the tag team titles on SmackDown right now, they're not the heels in that situation because the bloodline are. It is confusing. But what in terms of it spinning out after this, that's where I'm unsure. Because no spoilers for anyone who's not seen it. I would have said this before. I think there's going to be certain people that are coming after that title still that aren't finished yet with it. So
they said that last week as well, by the way. Solo said last week that he's coming after it.
Right, yeah. So Solo said last week. I don't think that maybe it's a triple threat match. I don't know, but I can't see the Bad Blood it just being. Oh, it could be because if Roman comes back in that time, but then do you take Roman and Solo together already? I don't know, man. There's so much stuff up in the air right now. It's confusing. But I do agree with what Shad said in that I am 100% with Cody, but that's not a insult to KO, because if anybody can kind of do it, and if this storyline would work like you said, that would betray a friend, and has done it in iconic moments, it is KO. So I just don't know, and I never know with this new generation of WWE. They've not done it yet. There's something that's really caught me off guard, to the extent that either Randy winning or Kevin winning would. But I'm not. It's Triple H, man. If he does it, he does it, and I'm excited. I'm always excited to see what happens after when something like that happens. So wouldn't be against it, but I am Team Cody.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're all on the same page here. We all predict that Cody
Hold
Rhodes
on.
will
I'm
get
not.
the
I'm
W.
not team. I'm not team Cody. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna
you just
win,
think
but
he'll win.
I'm rooting for Kevin. And it being
I agree. I agree with that.
8 year anniversary. Let's not also forget Cody might need to throw him a bone. Who helped Cody Rhodes out after he got released and got him in tune with the Young Bucks and all that,
It's
right?
true. It's
Mhm.
true.
Pay it forward, Mr. Rhodes. Take that L.
And Kafka's K says, knee question mark. To be honest with you, that was a slip of the tongue. I shouldn't have said that. But what SmackDown, and you'll find out. But, well, yeah. Well, moving on now, before I accidentally spoil anything else from SmackDown, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, because there hasn't been a Monday Night Raw in the last half an hour, so hopefully I won't forget that that's not Ed America yet. But CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, the strap match. I mean, earlier on today, I was in a live stream on something which we may or may not be talking about to you guys very, very soon. But I was in a live stream, right, and Clark was in there with me too. And Clark went on a big rant about this match, saying that basically when it's a feud as heated as this, why should two people go round trying to touch the corners? And to be honest with you, he actually makes a decent point. To the point now I'm like, I actually forgot that that's how it works in a strap match. I thought it was just they were tied up and they hit each other and each other pins who. But of course, it's not. You got to touch all four corners. And I don't know how I feel about that in a feud as heated as this one is. That being said, what I do know is the winner. Because if CM Punk does not win, he's going to look like an idiot. He's come back and he's lost 3 matches in a row. He'd have looked stupid. But somebody else earlier brought up a good point, and that was that perhaps the storyline is that Punk doesn't get the victory until the very end. Shad, which side do you lie on? Who do you think will walk out the winner after touching all 4 corners?
Yeah, and I recall when they announced this match and we were live. I believe Clark was on the show that Tuesday, right, Jordy? Where he went
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
epic
yeah.
he went on the epic rant about it, and I actually agree with him 100% in regards to I don't really like the match stipulation. Sure, it'll be entertaining. I'm sure we'll enjoy it watching it, but it is kind of a silly concept match. But I agree. I feel like it is a point where this kind of feels like a must-win situation for CM Punk. I think the tides have turned. I think when CM Punk has been out of action, he's got the best of Drew McIntyre. But when CM Punk has been 100% healthy, he hasn't been able to slay the beast that is Drew McIntyre when it comes to competition. And if that goes within, the Rumble, and when that goes within now, it looks like Drew has got, when it comes to getting your hands dirty, match wise, he's got the best of him. And for that reason, I think it is more of a must win for Punk because he needs to get some sort of victory within this feud. And at that point, you make it 1-1. I don't think the feud ends with him losing 2 matches. And, I don't think you continue it if it is 2 losses in a row. I think at that point, I'm just like, all right, well, you kind of just got dead in the water against Drew. I'm kind of done with the feud. I think this is a match that's more of Punk's alley. I think this is something that's kind of old school gimmick match that he might be more leaning towards winning the setup. It's probably why it is the match. And I think he gets his victory on Saturday. I think he wins this, and some sort of progression will happen where this feud is going to continue and blow off in a bigger blood feud. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But for tomorrow, I have CM Punk beating Drew McIntyre.
A bigger blood feud in what I think will be a bigger structure. I think Hell in a Cell Bad Blood. That's gotta be how you settle this. And I love what Number 1 Superfly saying here. CM Punk will win, but won't be able to get the bracelet back just yet, as Drew McIntyre will escape, and then we have the Hell in a Cell. Yes, that's brilliant. Kafka's K is saying, should have been a bracelet on a pole match.
That's what I said. I said they should have had a ladder match with the bracelet. I think, as silly as it is, it would have been crazy. It would have been different.
It would have been different. It would be. It would be the weirdest ladder match since the custody of Dominic Mysterio. But
I made yesterday on the Dynamite review show. I made the parallel to this in the Swerve and Hangman feud. I really wish WWE would hone in with this feud on with a more serious, more realistic aspect to it on a personal level. I get you know, I get the idea of the bracelet, right? It's not just the item; it's what is within the item. But I
yeah,
mean, you look at Swerve and Hangman, like you got Swerve breaking into people's houses, you got him stalking pregnant wives and stuff like that. Like that got
revealing kids,
yeah,
which aren't public, which is nuts.
yeah, that's a level of that's like that. I know David's gonna hate the term. That's cinema, right? That's like a TV series. That's a drama that captivates you, and that's something that WWE. I would expect them to do more compared to AEW, but like I feel like WWE could learn a little bit from their feud in regards to like adding more serious elements to it, taking it to that personal level that gets us more. They started off with it well. As of late, it's kind of been a little cheesy, so I'm losing a little interest.
I think
Wow.
I think I've got something that I would like to happen in the match, and what could lead to my prediction, which is Punk winning. I want them to snap the bracelet. I want Drew. I want Drew to snap the bracelet. I want him. I want that to be whatever it is that sends Punk over the edge, that chokes him out with a strap and just drags him from corner to corner, touches them, and then that's how this. And I know it's something as stupid as a bracelet. And you know what? If you don't want to break the real one, make a fake one. But I want Drew to literally, because his hands are massive. I just want him to snap it in front of him,
That would
and
be
Punk to lose his mind, and then it's 1-1. The feud is lit back up. Because we went from Seth has to ref this match because no official is willing to do it. The feud is too hot. They don't think that they're safe. To they can exchange promos in a ring together. We went from being red hot to actually we can be in the same building again now and we can have a chat.
That's a good point.
And I don't like that. I feel like it was building. And to get it back to that level, I think I need to see that bracelet in pieces scattered all over the ring. But I still think Punk wins it, and I think it goes 1-1. And I think the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood is the first Hell in a Cell match ever was at Bad Blood, right? And they paid homage when they were at SummerSlam, didn't they, to the Bret Undertaker thing. I think Drew is a fan of, and Punk both have a lot of respect for kind of the past generation now, and I think that they would love to culminate in the place where the Hell in a Cell was born, to have a Hell in a Cell match there. My only question is CM Punk trusted to be in a cell? Like, Fragile Phil? Are we really trusting that? Like, I'm genuinely worried. Like, I say Fragile Phil as a joke, but like you said, how many matches has he had back to then just throw him in a cell? It's a risky.
No, it is, but I think it's fine. I think he's safer in a cell than a press conference, alright? So if you can do a press conference, you can do a cell. But we do have a couple of comments I want to talk about here. Cavcase says, in the custody of Dom ladder match, they should have put Dom up there. Dom said this week that was actually discussed, which would have been nuts. And Anthony Manzano saying he thinks Punk's wins, but Drew's going to get himself disqualified. I mean, that's. I hope that doesn't happen, but who knows? We'll have to see. But now Anthony's saying he's going back on that. He thinks Drew will win the match. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But now, let me talk to you guys about something really quick, right? Because I love talking to you guys about predictions, but if I'm going to be honest, it's not my favorite thing in the world, because my favorite thing in the world is talking about Next Level. Now, if you guys don't know what Next Level is, let me explain to you. Basically, they've taken all our social media links and they put them in one place, and that one place is nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked all in one place. If you head to it, all our links are there, and it is truly great stuff. But what is also truly great stuff is this feud between the Terror Twins and the Judgment Day. I'm excited for this one. I think it's been a really entertaining feud. But I will give my prediction on this. But first of all, I'm actually just going to hand it over to you guys. You guys have an argument or whatever between yourself. And
let Shad go first, please.
There you are. Go for it.
Why is this match happening? Why is this match happening? Why does Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley have to continue butting their noses into what is a happy family that is the Judgment Day now? Do you see the morale that has risen since the two just cancers of the Judgment Day have been removed? Do you see how big of a smile Dominic Mysterio has in his face when him and Liv Eskimo kiss for like 4 seconds every time we see them? Do you see the happiness in Carlito? He shaved off the mustache. He just got a goatee now. This is just a masterful group now, and they are so much better without Damian Priest, who is I'll
champion.
be honest with you, a loser, not a champion. He is a loser. He lost the title. You know.
I mean, do you know how many times of a champion he is compared to Finn Balor, right? How much longer did Damian have that title compared to how long Finn had his? So if you look at it like that, he must be like, what, 50,000 times the champion that he ever was? Speaking of Finn, he's going to be the issue here, because that's why I wanted you to go first, because I'm a Terra Twins guy. I'm a Rhea and Damian guy. I don't actually think they're going to win tomorrow. I think Finn's going to get involved. I think the Judgment Day are going to get involved. And I think it's going to lead to bad blood where they actually get the hands on those two individually. And the reason why it's happening, Shad, they keep running away. We could have had it 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably, but they just keep running away. Like, I don't know. It needs to be a cage match. It needs to be a cage match or a strap match. This needs to be a strap match, because otherwise, Liv's gonna scarp her and then get picked up and thrown in, and we'll just see the same thing. And like, that's why the match is happening. That because if you keep running away, like they need to stand up and face the music. And like, regardless of what happened, regardless of what side we're on, Dominic betrayed Rhea and Damian. He needs to answer to that. Like, that's got consequences. That's got consequences.
Dude, they literally like dragged him and forced him in the group. He's doing what he needed to do after years of abuse from these two. And how are they the Terra Twins? How are they the Terra Twins? Damian Priest is 42 years old.
I don't know where that name came from.
Rhea Ripley is 27 years old. Not to also, completely neglect that one is from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the other one is Australian. But we won't even get to there. We'll start with the age. You made your prediction. I will make mine's. I unfortunately am picking the Terra Twins to win on Saturday.
Whoa.
I think they stand tall, unfortunately, and I think this is to progress the next culmination of what matches we are going to get within a Rhea and Liv and a Priest and possibly Finn Balor. I will say this. This is going to be a very Soul-esque take. I think Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest should be in the tag division. I think they would be a compelling tag team champ. But that will only happen if they leave the lovebirds that are Dominic and Liv Morgan alone.
Broken.
And Liv Morgan, 1,000-day championship reign. Let's surpass what Roman Reigns could not, complete. Let's go to 2,000. Let's go to 2,000 days. Let's let Liv Morgan be the ultimate champion of the world. I'm writing her name down this November for the presidency.
But the thing is, though, bro, you say why they're calling themselves the Terra Twins. Like, you can obviously call yourself what you want now, because them two are calling themselves the Judgment Day. That's not the Judgment Day. We know that that's not the Judgment Day.
No, they're the Judgment Day.
They should be called Dom and Liv. They're not the Judgment Day.
When it was Rhea and Damon in there, it was the Judging Day. Now they are the Judgment Day.
It's the judging Dom and being like, bro, you need to get better. And they made him better. He was not. We've been through this. He was NXT North American champion. He's grown so much, and then he's turned his back on him. It was a mistake on his part that he will one day see that he made. Right now, there's nothing I can do. My mustache is nearly grown back. I'm not shaving it again. I hope he has to shave his off, and then I can keep mine. That's where
Who you got winning, Ben? Back to you.
Actually, to be honest with you, you guys both make compelling points about why either team could win. Obviously, Terra Twins, you know, if they win, then we would get a rematch against Liv Morgan. That makes a lot of sense. But we all know, generally in wrestling, babyfaces don't win the first match. And I think that's going to be the case here. I am going to go for the Judgment Day. I reckon they will win. But as for 2,000 day Liv Morgan reign, I can't quite see that one happening, Shad, but we'll have to wait.
3,000! No, I'm joking. No,
4,000.
Her days are numbered.
All
When's
the
bad,
days.
when's bad blood? That's her time's up. Like, punch for card, she's done.
Wow.
Craziness.
But I don't think it'll be clean, I should say that too. Balor will be the one who costs them, and then that'll be like how we get to Rhea Liv too and all that stuff.
And
but
Finn
anyway,
and Damien as well. I think Finn and Damien's the spin-off at Bad Blood for that thing, because I don't think Damien and Dom quite has the same. And I would love for it to be a ladder match, which is a throwback to some bangers that they've had in the past, but that's...
The only thing is, and I've gone on a rant about this in the past, the amount of people who say... not the amount of people, the amount of matches we say, oh, it can happen at Bad Blood. They only do 5 match cards, and I think I counted the other day that internet, like Twitter and all that, it's like convinced that like 13 matches are going to be on that card. Well, that's blatantly not going to happen. But now let's move on and let's talk about the Unholy Union versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I was thinking about this one long and hard earlier today. And I really hope, and to be honest with you, this is probably more of a hope than a prediction, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I really want Unholy Union to retain. They are an actual tag team, and they're an actual tag team who I think are elevating these belts based on the fact that they're an actual tag team. They came through NXT together, and I think that the actual women's tag team division is starting to come together now with those as champions. That being said, I also want to see it because I want to see Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. I think that's a money match, and honestly, if you just give them back the tag team titles, why did you even take the tag team titles off them? I don't get it. So maybe I'm just being a bit hopeful here, a bit optimistic, but I want and predict the Unholy Union. But Jordy, what about you?
Jade and Bianca at Bad Blood. No, I'm joking. I am joking about that. No, I'm joking. I actually agree with numero 1 Superfly in the comments there. I think it'll be a miscommunication. I think, and also agree with yourself, Ben, that why take it off them? I love Jade and Bianca. I actually think they're great as a team. However, I had my issues with the run they had as champions because they looked too powerful to a point where it's a debatable thing. I think they were almost too powerful that it didn't elevate the rest of the division because it made the rest of the division look nowhere like subpar compared to these two. And I think for a good division, you need it to be competitive. You need to think, oh, these people could beat them. I think in that first run, I was like, I don't know who is going to be capable of taking these two down. But now, I think now is the time to start planting them seeds, to start something little, just something like, like Albert ducks a clothesline and it takes out Jade. Or, in fact, I think that's the best way to do it, because I think when Bianca and Jade do spin off into their own feud, I think Jade is going to be the heel. I can't see them having Bianca as a heel. And yeah, so I think Bianca takes out Jade accidentally. There's a miscommunication, and the Unholy Union retain. That's my prediction. That's my hope as well. Very much a hope, because if Bianca and Cargill win, as amazing as they are, and it means I'd probably get to see them on TV more wrestling. It's just, yeah, for the sake of the tag division, and for the sake of a potential feud between Bianca and Jade, I think now's possibly the right time to just start planting them seeds, very much in the same way like the Judgment Day did it ages ago with the Money in the Bank thing, but they didn't actually do the break until months and months down the line. Like, even in fact, I was about to say something that happened on SmackDown, so I won't say that. I'll just go back on what I said. Back to you in the studio.
You don't want to fall into the trap I made earlier on, but Kafka's case is unholy union, and so does numero one Superfly. Meanwhile, Anthony Manzano says that if Bianca and Jade win the titles again, they need to turn heel. Well, Shad, what about you? Who do you predict in this one?
Ah, man, this is really tough. But I think the unholy union win. I think we do need to pivot and start creating the cracks between Jade and Bianca, because they're just they're too they're too big of stars to be tied to tag team stuff, in my opinion. And
Wow.
I don't. It's just I feel like it's a waste of your talent. I feel like with Bianca, she's always been in the main event scene. She should continue to be within the main event scene. Jade, the same thing. I agree with you, Ben. I think the Unholy Union have been a very good tag team champs. Actually, I think their reign has been really good compared to past title reigns, and they have proved me wrong. I was like, why did they give them the title just to give them the sake of the title? But since they've been implementing them more on TV, giving them some viable wins, I think they've done a good job. And I think they need the belts more than Jade and Bianca need the belts. So yeah.
Wow. Wow, indeed. Yeah, no, I do agree with you on that one, but now it's time to talk about what I presume will be the main event of the evening. A rematch of King and Queen of the Ring this year. I absolutely loved the first match between Randy Orton and Gunther, but there was one issue with it, and the one issue was that finish. Because let's be real, Orton's shoulder was up, and I said at the time, if they correct this, if they turn this into a storyline, then it doesn't ruin the match for me, and the match will still be brilliant. One of my favorite matches of the year, and thankfully it took them a few months, but thankfully they've come back to it, and now it is going to be a rematch. Gunther, Randy Orton, the World Heavyweight Championship in Berlin. Gunther's got the home field advantage, but could we see a shock title change? All of us, we presume Gunther's going to have a 1,000-day reign, a really long reign, but could Randy Orton kill that before it even properly gets underway? I don't think so. I'm still predicting Gunther, but Jordy, I'll open things up with you. Could we see potentially the biggest upset in quite some time?
I'm going to try and wish it into existence, and this isn't anything against Gunther. I'm going to say Randy because I just want it to happen. Whether or not I think it is, it's irrelevant. I would love for Ludwig to turn on Gunther. I've said this. I think that it would make sense. I want to see Ludwig break out of Imperium and do some stuff in the singles division. Having your partner have the main event as the champion in your home country and getting portrayed as the hometown hero, and then also I nearly said something again, but I won't. I just think that Ludwig has been taking a few L's. I think he's been almost in the shadow of Gunther in a little bit. Giovanni's gone now, so it's not like they can get into that tag team division. I don't want him to fall into this kind of grey area. So, and if we're talking about making a moment, I think that would be huge. It would get a great reaction from the crowd. They would welcome it as almost like a babyface, but obviously the larger WWE universe, I think that'd be absolutely huge. And I just want to see Randy get a title reign. Everybody knows I'm a Cena guy, but I have also been very clear about saying I want Randy to break the record. I don't want Cena to go down as the GOAT, because Randy's the one that, and he's been very vocal about the fact he's not going to Hollywood. Wrestling is his life. He plans to stay at WWE, retire at WWE. And for me, somebody of his talent as well, that's the guy that I would want holding the record personally. And as well, just another thing before I pass back, Cody Rhodes himself and people like that have said that there's an almost Undertaker-like energy about how Randy is in the locker room these days, being kind of the veteran there. So I just would love him for many reasons to get one step closer to eventually being the record holder for World Heavyweight titles.
I couldn't agree more, Jordy. I really couldn't. Randy Orton, I think, should be the one to beat that record, but I think that it will be... I don't think they'll beat the record against Cody, but I think his 15th will be from Cody. I'm still predicting potentially him to win it there, because I just can't see it happening. But Shard, can you see it happening?
Oh man, I don't see him beating Gunther on Saturday. I think uh there's a picture to be painted for Gunther's title reign. He just became champion, and I feel like the last title reign it was about dominance and longevity. I think this one is about strength of schedule and who he beats. He's gonna get an opportunity to wrestle some of the best, and really set himself as one of the top guys in WWE, as he is, but to only solidify it more. Maybe get in the same conversations as the guys like a Seth, a Roman Reigns, and all of them. So I think this is the first stop, and I think it's a viable competitor with Randy. I think Randy's the vet, like y'all mentioned, but I think he's also a vet for trying to help out the next wave of superstars. And to my logic is Randy doesn't need it right now, and he doesn't need to get it off of Gunther right now. I know the milestone is getting that multiple title reign, but he said in an interview he's here for a little long time, right? He's here for the next, let's say, 5 years. I think he can get an opportunity to get championships. It just doesn't need to be right now. I think at the moment of where Randy is, I think it's more so about being a viable competitor for Gunther and making us be more invested in him as a champion, because that's a big time match and a big time title defense. We also gotta, not ignore the elephant in the room. As much as Randy is a big time box office type of superstar that all the fans love, Gunther's at home. This is or not at home, but the closest thing to home that he has. He's earned his stripes wrestling around Germany, and you don't get an opportunity to have moments like that. I feel like this entire PLE was kind of surfaced to make Gunther showcase as that dude, and I don't think you waste that moment for him losing on what is the closest thing to a home turf. So I do have him retaining. And I agree with you, Ben. I think Randy's moment has got to be against the other belt. It's got to be against Cody Rhodes. And I think that is a little bit more meaningful of an accolade for him rather than beating Gunther. Not saying Gunther isn't, better worse than Cody Rhodes by any means, but Cody he's got the main belt. He's got the belt that he got from the top dog in Randy or in Romans. Like, he's the Universal Champ. He's the face of the franchise at the moment. That's something that would be a little bit more meaningful. Plus the history those two have with each other. But I'm excited for it. This is probably the match I'm most hyped for going into the weekend.
I would agree with that, but I'm actually going to present one possibility, not something I think will happen, but to just play devil's advocate here for a quick second, right? What if Orton does beat Gunther tomorrow? What if he holds it for like a month, and then at Bad Blood or Survivor Series, whenever you want to do it, you do the rematch? It's 1-1, Orton's got the belt, Gunther wins it back. That way Gunther can still have his long reign, but it's, Orton's also now a 15-time champion. And I know it's a bit like a hot potato, but we've not done that for the belt in quite some time. But more interestingly, then Randy Orton is a 15-time champion. And he's going to go back to Friday Night SmackDown, and he's stuck on that brand. He can't go again for Gunther. And who's champion? Cody's champion. Then you're in November. Orton's no longer got the belt. You have a few months until the Rumble. You could do the heel turn and have Orton versus Cody at the Rumble. If Orton wins, he's tied the record. And then we all know next year, Cena's retirement year, could we see 16 time versus 16 time? That's all I'm saying on the matter.
You know what would be a good way? Randy has to win in the same manner that Gunther won. Like the same exact spot on Saturday.
Yes! To protect Gunther as well. Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
I was
Oh my
thinking. I was
gosh.
thinking of another
Yeah.
possibility, but that's better. I was thinking like if we want to see a Randy heel turn now, like let Gunther win and then get Randy get up and let us see a punt kick that we've not seen in many
Oh,
years.
not
Because
the punt kick.
that's when you know Randy's. That's when you know Randy's
safe
gone.
for Cody. That has to
Do
be
you
safe
think?
for Cody.
Do
Yes,
you
it
think?
has to be.
That's when he's gone. At that point,
Yeah.
that's when you know Randy's. There's no getting him back. He has to get injured or something and come back as a face, because once he starts kicking people in the head, it's curtains.
No, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, Shad, I'm obsessed with your idea now.
Yeah, it
Having
would
the
be great.
exact same thing in Germany. Orton wins. He's 50. That's what they need to do.
And then I'd end the third one and do it in a sleeper, because then it's like there's no like that. There's no shoulders down. Gunther's just like, I choked him out. He's unconscious. It's done.
Gunther would look so good at then as well. And then of course it doesn't matter about Randy, fading, because he's about to turn heel. And as we all know in professional wrestling, you turn heel, everyone forgets about any face losses you've taken anytime soon.
Yeah.
Recently. So listen, guys, this is what I want to see. But let's see what the comments want to see. New Moon Superfly is saying that Gunther will retain, but he will make sure Randy's shoulders are down this time. Meanwhile, Anthony Manzano says he thinks Gunther will retain the title, and this starts the spiral for Randy with him turning into the psychotic bad guy that he was. To be honest with you, if we're actually predicting it here, Anthony, that is what I actually agree with. I think this is going to be the start of the spiral, and Cody will be the one who gets, the brunt of it. I said it on Allison Analysis a few weeks ago, or quite a few weeks ago now, and I'm going to stand by that prediction. But what I want to happen is what you said, Shad. Let's do that. Have his shoulders not being down, but we'll have to wait, and we'll find out in 21 hours and 10 minutes when Bash in Berlin does take place. We will be back tomorrow night immediately following Bash in Berlin for our Bash in Berlin post show. So make sure you guys don't miss that. Thank you to everybody who's commented and liked throughout the video. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you to Shad and thank you to Jordy for joining me here today. We will be back tomorrow. We will see you guys then.